Hello and good evening. You are very welcome. My name is Dr. Sandra. I welcome you to my lovely channel, the RoyalQ University, a channel dedicated to all things FX, Forex that is, and all things crypto. I come before you today with a very special package indeed. Before I go on any further, I would like to invite you by all means to subscribe to my channel. All you simply need to do is just to click the subscribe button at the bottom of the page. This channel is dedicated to absolutely fashioning the best content, curating the best content, gathering together from the north, the south, the east, and the west, the best possible content in the way of Forex and crypto. That includes HFX, that includes binary options, that includes trading on the currencies, that includes crypto trading, that also includes trading on metals and also trading in oil. The basic analysis that you need to at least get you started. As a newbie, what, why, how, when? That's all we aim to answer on this channel, to give you a starting point, to give you a place of lift off, to give you a suitable enough grounding to mean that any other tuition or coaching or mentoring you get from here on gives you a very layered approach that gives you a very sharp edge in what is essentially an extremely competitive market indeed. So, without further ado, let me welcome you to this channel. Let me welcome you to this session. This is Saturday, the 19th of February, 2022. My session today will be covering a number of things. Number one, Trendline. I'm going to be using TradingView as my tool. I'm also going to be repeating this Trendline session with MT4, but that will be for another video, which is why you need to subscribe to this channel so that as and when I do that, you will be the first to be notified so you don't miss out on very fresh and wonderful and dynamic content that we have on this page. So, I will be covering the subject of trend lines, how to draw a trend line using TradingView, what makes a good trend line, giving you some hints. I'm going to be divulging some of my trading secrets during this session. So by all means, have your pen and paper to hand. You will do well to keep notes. Forex success in Forex will come on the bedrock of the notes that you are also able to take when mentors or coaches take you through various stages of the process. And also at the end of the Trendline presentation, I will also be doing a Bitcoin analysis as we go into the week of Monday, the 21st of February. It will do us some good to be able to understand what the Bitcoin position is. Bitcoin is the chiefest of all of crypto. It is the number one in terms of market capitalization, in terms of branding, in terms of volume as well. And so no move in crypto should ever be considered outside of Bitcoin. Yes, the level of coupling in the fullness of time has become a little looser between Bitcoin and altcoins, but it is still the chiefest of coins. And as we get ready for the week to come, I think it is wise and it is right to be able to understand what the Bitcoin position is. So the content is extremely rich today. By all means, tell your friends about this, share the link, share the video to them, encourage them to subscribe. So without further ado, let us now go into TradingView. Ladies and gentlemen, TradingView is the number one tool for analysis of charts, for analysis of the market, for analysis of indices. No matter how much of a novice you are, and no matter how much of an expert you are, the bulk always starts with TradingView. So ladies and gentlemen, it will do you some good to be able to understand the TradingView and to be able to use it as well, which is why the context of this production today takes as a starting point TradingView. So ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an extremely wonderful session. So as we start the proceedings, I'm just adjusting the page so that we can all enjoy the session without being disturbed by any other screens. So this is the trading view screen, and trading view, as you can see, is open for business. Now, number one, let me see, to begin to introduce you to the subject of trend lines, I will need a chart to be able to do that. So let me see, the chart that I am going to use is, I'm going to use Dogecoin. I'm going to use that as the basis for this teaching session. So a trend essentially is described as something that helps us understand the direction of the market. Something that gives us the opportunity to be able to recognize the dynamism of the market. Is the market going up? Is it going down? To what extent do players in the marketplace, by this I mean buyers and sellers, to what extent do players in the marketplace have to be aware of the trend line? I say this to you now, that number one training, number one lesson in crypto is trend lines. If you fail to understand trend lines, you have not started at all. In Forex as well, a trend line is the number one skill to have. You got to be able to understand how to draw a trend line. You got to be able to understand how to adapt a trend line to the market circumstances. You got to be able to understand how to translate a trend line. You got to be able to understand how to anticipate the direction of a trend line. You've got to be able to understand the impact of a shift in trend line movements to the marketplace. And trend lines are the most fundamental, most basic skill that you must have as a trader. So before us, we have Dogecoins, and trend lines are so important that they straddle all sorts of financial instruments. As soon as anyone opens up a chart, the first thing to do is to start understanding the state of that trend line. And so on TradingView, ladies and gentlemen, I would seriously advise that if you don't have a TradingView account, that you do your best to set one up. It's very, very easy, very, very cheap. It's not costly at all. All you need is a Gmail account. TradingView is provided free of charge. Of course, there is a paid version, but for you to start enjoying trading, for you to start putting into practice the very many numerous skills and teachings and learning that I will pass down to you, it is important that you get yourself a TradingView account. So on the TradingView, when you begin to identify trend lines, a trend line is identified by it's simply a line between 2 points that gives us an understanding as to the direction of the market. Is the market headed north? Is it headed south? Is the market doing well? Is the market doing well or not? If the market is doing well, then to what extent is it doing well? If the market is doing well, then to what direction is it headed? Should we be preparing to buy, or should we be preparing to sell? Should we be preparing for an influx of buyers? Should we be preparing for an influx of sellers? Is it time to put our money into the market or not? A trend line can give you the headlines on this. And so the first thing you would do as you attempt to draw the trend line, number one, yes, you open your TradingView account. Number two, you position, you go straight into, you could start with a monthly. I mean, I always tell people that when you do start drawing the trend line, start from the bigger perspectives. First of all, in this instance, we are going to start with the daily, and that's what we have before us. The lower in perspective you get, so when you get from daily to hourly daily to 4 hourly, 2 hourly, the lower in perspective you get, the more you begin to see of the characteristics of that line. Because if you take a closer look at what I am showing you now, you will see that what you thought was a line is actually candles going up and down. And these candles essentially give you the gist on who is controlling the market, on whether it's buyers or on whether it's sellers. So that's what this does for you. So what I've done is now put the monthly trend line in perspective. I'm going to start. A trend line is a line that's connected by 2 points. So let's try and look for these 2 points. There's a trend line tool. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see where I am hovering. I'm hovering above a tool on TradingView called Trendline. You click that and you simply place that on your on the first instance of the impulse. Let me take a step or two back. When you draw the trend line, when you get the trend line in, there are dynamics as to how you draw the trend line. In this instance, we've been able to identify where the shift in momentum starts and where it stops. It starts from here. And as we draw the trend line down, you can begin to see a number of things. You can begin to see that from the position of impulse, there are touches on the trend lines. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 touches on the trend line. There's 2 here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 touches, almost 6, I think, with that on the trend line. So trend line has a number of business rules. One of those business rules is that there must be at least 3 touches on the line. According to that business rule, this is a trend line. There are other things to consider in drawing a trend line. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'd like to introduce my training and my mentoring for those who want to be able to understand the rest of the business rules with reference to how it is you put a trend line together. So we have drawn the trend line. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now so we've drawn the trend line, and we can also confirm by way of indicators whether this is a trend line or not. It is. It absolutely is. So that's a trend line. It's as simple as that. That's a trend line. You draw a trend line to understand the market. In this instance, we can see that the nature of the market is that it is an uptrend. It's going up. It's an uptrend. Bear with me. It's an uptrend. So we are looking for buy opportunities in the marketplace. No, forgive me. What am I saying? Forgive me. It's a downtrend. Oh, I must get my words out. This is a downtrend. So we're looking for sell opportunities. When the trend line is drawn and when you see what the dominant interaction is, in this case, it is a downtrend, DT. It's a downtrend. And when it's a downtrend, sellers are the ones who we're looking for sell opportunities. We are looking for sell opportunities. So I've drawn a trend line using the tool, TradingView tool. And we can begin to see what the dynamism is. We can begin to see that the direction of the market is that it is headed to the south. It's headed. The sellers have dominance. This is on the hour time frame. If you go to the 4 hourly time frame, is the same thing. If you go to the hourly time frame, you can begin to see that the closer we get, the more characteristics about this trend line we can find and we can see is the same regardless of which time frame you go. And when you draw the trend line, you start from the highest level of perspective to the lower. Yeah, look at that. If we had taken that right up to the instance of, let's see, if we had taken that trend line right up to the instance of 3rd of May 2021, according to the details on the bottom, you would see that it's been a long while that Doge as a coin has been in a downtrend. So that's enough of that. Now I want to get involved in helping us identify the Bitcoin position. I've already marked up this chart. So what I am going to do is I'm going to delete all of the markings, and then with you watching, proceed to map Bitcoin from scratch. So let me see, I'm going to remove all the drawings. So if we go to the day perspective, we can also see that for a while now, in terms of trends, it's been downward for Bitcoin. A previous all-time high as recent as 10th of November was 69,000. Today, Bitcoin stands at $40,279. So let's take it to the 4 hour, because we want to be able to analyze Bitcoin. We want to be able to understand what the market is saying with reference to Bitcoin for this week that is coming up. So if I expand this, ladies and gentlemen, we can begin to see that the patterns have begun to appear. We can begin to see that there are clear patterns on the trend line. So if I begin to do my patterns analysis, I will do it in such a fashion. The impulse flag, pullback, and continuation. If I expand that, we can see that the future is looking very bearish. So if this is the daytime, the daily, the 4 hourly perspective, if we go to the daily as well, it's the same thing. It's looking incredibly bearish for Bitcoin. Now, let us now begin to assess the extent to which that bearishness can be gauged. Let's begin to use our patterns analysis to get a clear understanding of this. We can begin to see that there's some consolidation, and according to market dynamics, the next thing for this thing to do, we can see that it's a lower low. So this pattern, this double top pattern, is decidedly bullish looking. So in terms of considering the retracement for Bitcoin, if I use my fib, taking it from top down as it's bearish, the current state of Bitcoin is that it has retraced up to Let's see. There's been some retracement. It hasn't hit 0.236 yet, but we are looking forward to what is going to happen this week. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are gauging the market on the basis of this, of the what I call the platinum ratio, platinum 786 and 886, that means there's still a while away for Bitcoin to retrace back up, because of course, as you know, in trading analysis, after an impulse, after a flag, after a pullback, and after a continuation, and after a pullback of the continuation, then as a matter of course the next leg should go the opposite way. So what we are anticipating is that Bitcoin will at some point head up. We begin to go up, but it's looking very bearish because of the lower low according to this pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, my analysis for this is that it's going to fall some more this week. It hasn't stopped falling. It hasn't stopped falling. And we can begin to see consolidation. Keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, this consolidation will help. This consolidation is what will see us now begin to get an opportunity to be able to go up, to be able to witness a rise from this current range of 40,255 upwards to, hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed, hopefully 44,000 zone. So we're looking to be on the way up. The patterns analysis has run its full course. It has gone full term. I can see the clear M patterning there. We are now consolidating after that pullback of the continuation, and I'm envisaging that in this week to come, Bitcoin will begin to climb up. So stay tuned for more about this. I truly hope you have enjoyed this session. I truly hope that this session has done you some good. I truly hope that you have enjoyed yourself enormously. It's been a light session. It's been a very introductory session. There is more to come. Certainly, you can join my Telegram group. You can join my Discord group. You can join my Twitter. You can join me on TikTok. You can join me on Instagram. All you need to do is to follow the links under this video. Once again, my name is Dr. Sandra, and I am your resident FX crypto specialist. And I will be taking you through this wonderful journey, a journey hopefully where we can make good money together, because the market is looking good indeed for the future of the rest of 2022. So thanking you very much. And once again, signing out.